the opportunity to come to the council tonight to address the issue of the teen curfew, which was amended last year to include the school hours between 9 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. I've been a Bedford resident for 21 years. My wife and I have children who attended HEB schools. We're very proud of those schools and we're very proud of our community. Neither my wife nor I are members of the school board, nor are we employees of the school district. I'm a principal in a commercial insurance agency, but more importantly, I'd like you to know that I'm a mentor at Trinity High School. The Trinity Mentor Program, which also exists at LD Bell, calls on community volunteers to come in and discuss and practice and try and install personal values regarding social issues, personal conduct, integrity, honesty, financial responsibility, and the achievement of personal goals. And through that participation over the last 5 years, I've come to know a few students inside Trinity High School, perhaps in a way that their parents and their guardians do not. My wife and I were very satisfied to learn that the teen curfew had been unanimously approved and amended by the City Council to include the enforcement during the school year daylight hours. The amended curfew not only provides for fair and balanced enforcement, but a wonderful provision for defenses against unfair or unwarranted citation. I don't want anybody to take my word for it, so let me read to you from the ordinance. The city has determined that the curfew for those under the age of 17 will be in the interest of public health, safety, and general welfare, and will help attain the foregoing objectives to diminish the undesirable impact of conduct on the citizens of Bedford. We were just discussing. This ordinance provides wonderful, broad definitions to accommodate the needs of emergency, travel, work, parent or guardian errands, and civic participations with the school, the community, a religious affiliation, so long as an adult or guardian is taking responsibility for that minor. Very seldom are laws crafted to allow for so many defenses as exist in this ordinance. And I commend whoever wrote this. I struggle to understand the logic behind those who would take exception to this ordinance. I disagree that somehow this ordinance is poorly crafted or poorly written, and that it unduly expands the powers of local government. If so, why is the curfew not being criticized at night, but only in the day? Within this council chamber, there may be people who would assert that this ordinance causes police resources to be used where the resources of the school board should be brought to bear on the matter of truancy. Since our school district steps across 3 city boundaries, it is necessary for the local police to be empowered by an ordinance so as to promote class attendance. Having spoken with my students inside the classroom during the Trinity Trojan talks, I can absolutely assure you that they are familiar with the fact that a potential fine of $500 awaits them should they merely skip class on a whim or a folly. Please also consider the negative effect and perception of Chief Flory and his staff if this enforcement tool is taken from them. I believe it would be an affront and an unjust condemnation of their skills to assess at street level in real time the situations and make prudent judgments regarding lawful and unlawful actions. Please don't let yourself be bullied by those who would have you believe that this is an affront to civil liberties and inalienable rights of free passage. Please also be unconcerned over the cries of overtaxation to the point of breaking of our precious police resources. Neither of these is true. My wife was kind enough today to get this statistic from the police department in Bedford. Only 2 citations have been written in the city of Bedford since the ordinance was passed in September of 2008. The City Council has more than its share of controversy, has had over the past few years, more than its share of controversy. And my wife and I are heartened by the glimmer of unanimity and consensus here in the city. To achieve a flip-flop or a countermanding decision on this ordinance to satisfy the demands of a small yet vocal minority sets a slippery precedent for our city. What other ordinances might be next for another small group to attack and demand action on? I believe it's in our interest to look at our neighbors in Euless to see that this ordinance is not being vigorously contested. I would encourage you not to be persuaded by the cries of the few within the city and those visitors from outside Bedford whose views on this matter represent a small minority. As we know, these parents place a great value in the education of their children, and they are doing what they think is in the best interest of their children. It's my hope that we as a community can value all children being able to get the same education at this critical time, not only for our public schools, but for our private schools and for our homeschool. It is critical for the public schools and those students who are outside a two-parent family without the support at home and without the opportunities afforded by those wonderful home-based education activities to be kept in school until graduation, afford them the opportunity and the potential to earn that they're otherwise going to cheat themselves from. I'm sure that everyone could agree there's no important time than right now for all our children to graduate from high school. And I feel like upholding this ordinance is the best interest of all the students as well as our community, whether those students are homeschooled, private schooled, or public schooled. And I thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions?